Fantasy Book Talk by Emily Rayleigh. Author Lewis Carroll's real name is Charles Dodgson. He was a shy and awkward clergyman that came to life when telling stories to young children. He told this story to 3 young girls on a boat trip. Alice, one of the girls, asked him to write it down. So he did. This is a picture of the real Alice, who first heard this poignant coming-of-age adventure that has wowed people for decades. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll and illustrations by John Tennell, set in Victorian-era England. The adventure begins when Alice sees an odd rabbit with a pocket watch talking about being late and follows him down a fantastic rabbit hole. The action begins. Alice, our protagonist, experiments with her size by drinking and growing or eating and shrinking. Many of us can identify with always trying to be the right size. Alice asks herself, "Who in the world am I?" This is a question we all ask. Their narration is in third person and sometimes first and second, so we can identify with Alice and what she's thinking. The adventure grows when she finds this tiny door to a lush, beautiful garden, symbolizing the ideal Garden of Eden. She cries because she is so frustrated with her size, and this is confusing place. This is only the beginning. Alice starts to drown in a pool of her own tears. A mouse saves her. The mouse's story about fury foreshadows the trial. She meets a band of strange animals that want her to judge a race with no winner. This is just the beginning of the nonsense. The author later refers to herself as the dodo. Alice rebelliously experiments with drinking again, as most youth do, and becomes large again and stuck in the rabbit's house. The philosophizing caterpillar, smoking and sitting on the mushroom, which helps her grow and shrink, symbolizes adolescence and puberty changes. She cannot remember the Father William poem. She knows it, but she cannot remember. Many students also struggle with memorization. She meets the Duchess, the baby, and the cook, and the Cheshire Cat. They are the oddest of all. The Duchess is abusive to the baby, and the cook throws things at everyone. Some kids can identify with this dysfunctional family. Alice rescues the baby, but it turns into a pig. The Cheshire Cat tries to advise and identify with Alice. He probably reminds her of her cat Dinah. The famous Manatee Party is full of games and riddles that make no sense. This frustrates and aggravates Alice more. Finally, she reaches the garden, but it's fake, full of painted flowers and playing cards. She meets the tyrannical queen, who orders everyone around, and if they argue, she calls for their execution. This is the climax. She reluctantly plays a game of croquet, but it's odd because they use real animals. She has to meet with the mock turtle and the griffin. They tell her of the lobster quadrille. It's a dance where all sea animals dance and sing together. The Trial of the Knave for stealing tarts. It seems real, but it's nonsensical and unjust. Alice's frustration mounts, and she knocks all the cards over. This story is an adventure and a personal quest for Alice to find herself.